Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining me today for this webinar. My name is Lee, and I'm a Business Development Manager here at Argentum. Today, I will briefly mention the 5 new missions of Horizon Europe, and I will be focusing on climate neutral and smart cities. Before I start, allow me to give you a very brief introduction to our company. Argentum specializes in EU research and innovation funding. The company was established in 1999. Since then, has had vast experience and gained expertise in obtaining governmental funding for innovative technology and research and development. We have 30 employees divided into 3 departments: strategy, business development, consulting and writing team. Our vision is to target innovative fund opportunities and to enhance participation and success in multinational research and innovation projects. Argentum is aligned with the EU Commission's goals and works closely with NCPs in order to deepen the understanding of EU directives, guidelines, and value chains. It is Argentum's objective to be expert between overlapping technological sectors in the EU. The EU's budget for the years 2021 is 1.2 trillion euros, and you can see how it is distributed in the donut chart on this slide. 12% single market innovation and digital, 36% cohesion, resilience and values, 33% resource and environment, 10% other programs, and 9% for neighborhood. The first stage of funding is choosing the proposal. When a company uses a grant for submission, they should consider following the field. Bottom up is let's open all fields of technology. Top down would be a specific call aligned with the EU's agenda. They should all consider the type of funding mechanism. The European one, supported by the EU, like Horizon Europe. Bilateral, for example, a technological collaboration between 2 countries, or a national funding initiative. They should consider the type of application procedure as well, whether the submission is as a single applicant or as part of a collaborative project, a consortium. The choice should be made according to the company's needs and strategy, and while considering the success rate of each opportunity. The European Commission recently announced how it will allocate the first 673 million euro on 19 research calls to fulfill 5 Horizon Europe missions in health, climate and environment. It is part of the Horizon Europe programme that promotes European collaboration and creation of partnerships between SMEs and research institutes through consortia around one topic of research. As I mentioned earlier, I will be focusing on climate neutral and smart cities. I will first explain each topic and go into detail about some calls from different funding sources, not only Horizon Europe, to show you how we at Argentum work in understanding your specific needs and help you target the right calls to finance your developing projects. Cities play a pivotal role in achieving climate neutrality by 2050, which is the goal of the European Green Deal. They take up only 4% of the EU's land area, but they are home to 75% of EU citizens. Furthermore, cities consume over 65% of the world's energy and account for more than 70% of global CO2 emissions. Since climate mitigation is heavily dependent on urban action, We need to support cities in accelerating their green and digital transformation. In particular, European cities can substantially contribute to the Green Deal target of reducing emissions by 55% by 2030 and, in more practical terms, to offer cleaner air, safer transport and less congestion and noise to their citizens. Although the webinar is about the mission of climate neutral and smart cities, our business model works around a multi-submission strategy whereby we apply to a whole panoply of funding opportunities that might fit your current projects or prospects throughout the year. At Argentum, we believe that the non-dilutive funding should be strategized and maximized by accurate and multi-submission processes. We start with specific calls related to the mission itself. In this case, climate neutral and smart cities, and then we branch out to more general calls. Which are more general and open to all fields of technology. The city's mission will involve local authorities, citizens, businesses, investors, as well as regional and national authorities to deliver 100 climate neutral and smart cities by 2030 and ensure that these cities act as experimentation and innovation hubs to enable all European cities to follow suit by 2050. As foreseen in its implementation plan, the city's mission takes a cross-sectoral and demand-led approach, creating synergies between existing initiatives and basing its activities on the actual needs of cities. The Horizon Call for Smart Cities has an overall budget of 117 million euros and is divided into 4 sub-calls. The first call, Positive Clean Energy Districts, has a wide scope for demonstrating combination of tech to achieve positive clean energy. The topic will thus contribute to the twin green and digital transitions promoted by the European Green Deal and will lead by example on how to speed up the necessary transformation towards urban climate neutrality, including in a human-centered way. The second call, Unleashing the Innovation Potential of Public Transport as Backbone of Urban Mobility. The objective of this call is to increase the uptake of replicable public transport solutions in the living labs while facilitating joint lesson drawing and learning at European level. The funded actions will contribute to the objectives of the mission and priorities of the European Green Deal. The third, Global Cooperation and Exchange on Urban Climate Neutrality. The goal here is to accelerate learning, replicability, and scaling up of solutions by helping cities to learn from first movers and tailor their approach. As part of these activities, the platform will provide support as relevant to the global mission on urban transitions. The platform will also set up and curate an online database of advising and funding actions undertaken in EU member states and associated countries to support the climate neutrality of non-European cities. The database will list the funding opportunities at international level that could benefit cities in Europe. And the fourth, urban planning and design for just, sustainable, resilient and climate neutral cities by 2030. Global challenges such as climate change, biodiversity loss, pandemic, pollution, and irreversible depletion of natural resources demand cities to engage in urgent and decisive systematic transitions towards climate neutrality, sustainability, and resilience in line with the European Green Deal. The overall aim of this topic is to support a diverse range of urban areas across Europe to identify and replicate solutions and measures in order to achieve climate neutrality and significantly reduce emissions across the most relevant sectors by 2030. This call from the Horizon Europe Work Programme 2021 to 2022 is dedicated to the implementation of the Climate Neutral and Smart Cities mission. This work programme will provide a strong and direct support to cities that will commit to climate neutrality and enable them to roll out their climate action plans and achieve climate neutrality by 2030. In synergy with significant progress towards zero pollution. In turn, the cities benefiting from these actions will act as experimentation and innovation hubs for other cities to become climate neutral by 2050. Climate neutrality for cities is associated with important co-benefits and urban qualities such as reduced air and noise pollution, improved health and well-being, reduced urban environmental footprints, enhanced urban greening, and improved water management. It is also associated with policy coherence across sectors and with decision-making. The actions funded will also contribute to the UN Agenda 2030, the UN Zero Pollution Action Plan, the Fit for 55 strategy, the Biodiversity Strategy, the EU Strategy on Adaptation to Climate Change, and the new Bauhaus Initiative, in addition to the objectives of the European Green Deal. Project results are expected to contribute to all of the following expected outcomes. Contribute to the objectives of the mission by accelerating the transition towards climate neutrality in cities through the promotion of zero emission, active and human-centered mobility. It hopes to increase the extent and speed of the take-up and upscaling of innovative, best practice and replicable, safe, affordable and sustainable urban mobility solutions in living labs. It hopes to bring solutions for at least 10 unsafe urban areas using innovative planning, design and implementation approaches, including co-creation and/or citizen engagement, modeling, and AI, digital, etc., with a view to reduce road safety risks, reduce exposure to air and noise pollution, and the perceived feeling of unsafety for pedestrians and cyclists. It hopes to reassess road and public space quality, responding to needs of diverse groups. Actions may include improving data collection for foot, bike and e-scooter traffic, as well as the mechanisms for reporting pedestrian and cyclists' e-scooter injuries and deaths. Another outcome is to address proactively potential risk raised by expected increases in cycling and e-scooters, And finally, an outcome of rebalancing the attribution of public space to different modes of transport so that it better reflects the actual or desired local model split, as well as zero emissions objectives and increasing road safety and quality of life in cities. As I mentioned in a previous slide, EIT Urban Mobility is a great opportunity. It is an initiative supported by the European Institute of Innovation and Technology, acting to accelerate positive change on mobility to make urban spaces more livable since January 19. The Sustainable City Logistics Accelerator is one of the thematic accelerator programs and is an EU-funded program implemented through partners to take early-stage mobility startups to the next level. The program is designed to offer services and support to early-stage startups from EU and Horizon Europe associated countries. The Sustainable City Logistics Accelerator is an international 6-month accelerator program for startups who are ready to scale up internationally and access a unique network of the leading deep tech startup accelerators across Europe. In this specific call, your startup will get ready to kick off sales in international markets. You will get one-to-one business coaching, mentoring, and workshops. The program offers city matchmaking to test your solution and facilitates an introduction to test and demonstration labs around Europe. Towards the end of April, we plan to hold an event for Cluster 5 Smart Mobility. Stay tuned to our LinkedIn events for more details. I will now speak about a couple of specific bottom-up calls. Under the European Innovation Council, there are 3 calls: EIC Accelerator, Pathfinder, and Transition. The EIC Accelerator evolved itself to an important and very competitive funding program for European SMEs and startups. It is part of the EIC pilot that supports top-class innovators, entrepreneurs, small companies and scientists with funding opportunities and acceleration services. As an EIC Accelerator client, you will gain visibility and boost your chances of success in European and international markets and benefit from a range of business acceleration services. The EIC Accelerator supports high-risk, high-potential, small and medium-sized enterprises and innovators to help them develop and bring onto the market scientific discoveries, technological breakthroughs, high-impact and innovative product, service, or business models that could create new markets or disrupt existing ones in Europe and worldwide. The EIC Pathfinder targets the realization of an ambitious vision for radically new technology with potential to create new markets and/or to address global challenges. EIC Pathfinder supports early-stage development of such future technologies. Various activities at low technological readiness levels 1 to 4, based on high-risk, high-gain science towards technology breakthrough research, including deep tech. And finally, the EIC Transition is under the EIC Work Programme that bridges between the EIC Pathfinder and the EIC Accelerator. The EIC Transition funds innovative activities that go beyond the experimental proof of principle in laboratory. It supports both the maturation and validation of novel technology in the lab and in relevant environments, as well as the development of a business case and business model towards the innovation's future commercialization. The expected outcomes of an EIC transition challenge are A, a technology that is demonstrated to be effective for its intended application, and B, a business model and business plan for its development to market. Here we have another bottom-up call, Eureka. Under this umbrella, we have Eurostars, bilateral Spain and South Korea, and SMART. Eurostars is a joint program co-funded by national bodies from 36 countries and the European Union throughout Horizon 2020. The focus of the program is the support for international collaborative R&D performing SMEs and projects working on a marketable product, process, or service. Eurostars is not only part of Eureka, they also offer bilateral programs for funding, which are country-specific and differ from one country to another. It is important to add that Eureka is open to some countries that cannot apply to EU grants, such as Argentina, Canada, Monaco, San Marino, Singapore, South Africa, South Korea, and Switzerland. Now, on to the bilateral call, Spain and South Korea. The national funding bodies from Korea and Spain have allocated funding for organizations collaborating on international R&D projects. This project call is for R&D projects focusing on developing innovative products and applications in all technology and market areas. Applicants are expected to develop ready-to-market solutions or projects which have strong market potential for Republic of Korea and Spain. And finally, SMART. With the largest scope of sustainable industry that is covered by this call, two areas of interest have been identified specifically by the national funding bodies supporting the call: green ICT and space, earth, ocean integrated systems for better observation and data exploitation. Under green ICT, the ICT technologies are a key enabler of a green transition for production and consumption patterns in every business and every part of society. However, the digital technologies that are crucial for these ecosystems consist of electronic components, software and systems that can consume a large amount of energy and resources over their life cycle, from production to installation, use and maintenance, to disposal or recycling. It is also important to advance research and development towards more sustainable electronic components, software and systems for information and communication technologies supporting sustainable manufacturing. The sustainable manufacturing should implement green ICT solutions in factories, operations, processes, and product planning. Furthermore, the sustainability idea must also include the design of economical and frugal data capture and processing from the outset. As to our proposition, we know that the abundance of funding opportunities out there can become challenging to navigate because of the complexity that is part of the submission process, in addition to the many details and guidelines that every funding opportunity entails. We have developed a unique method to increase our clients' access to funding while minimizing their efforts. We call this our multi-submission approach, which in a nutshell says, submit to one, submit to all. By following this method of submission, our strategists and consultants are able to get a firmer grasp on the activity of your company, especially your technology. This allows us to write better submission proposals because we gain more depth of knowledge. Moreover, as a submitting company applying to various opportunities, you will have less to work with, be it financially or in terms of manpower, because we will work with your technology and tailor it to fit multiple proposal calls. And lastly, this method immensely raises your chances of winning a grant. From a strategic point of view, our work summarizes as follows. As a client at Argentum, we ensure you get a personalized service with regular meetings throughout the year. The initial step starts with a kick-off meeting in order to discover the assets and develop projects for your company. With all this information, our consultants will suggest to you the open calls that you can target throughout the year according to your priorities and timelines. Once you have decided which calls you want to apply for, we will set a schedule together for the year to come and will transfer you to our professional team who will write the proposals. They will need your responsiveness in order to receive all the materials needed and to submit on time. This process is in constant evolution, growing with your projects and your developments, and also regarding the launch of new promising calls. Our role is to guide you throughout the submission process and maximize your chances of funding success. It is important to point out that the process is always adaptable, and as a long-term client, we are always on the lookout for new publications that are a suitable match to your company's strategy. Later on, our marketing team will follow up and invite you to book a call. I look forward to hearing from you and thank you for your time today.